Hey everyone! I'm hoping that my audio works, so just giving it a second for somebody to jump in here and tell me. But welcome! It has been a while since I've done live reading. I hope that you guys are still with me. One of the announcements that I want to make tonight is that I have a consistent reading schedule again. Woo! So tonight is not indicative of that, but starting Thursday nights next week, I will be on live every Thursday night. But the last Thursday of the month will actually be dedicated to a new group that I'm going to be starting, which I don't really have a name for it yet, but I sort of came up with the idea to do group Zoom calls. So we actually are like one-on-one. Everyone's actually able to talk to each other versus this where it's just me talking at you guys and all you can do is be in the chat. But those are going to be practice nights. So if you really want to learn how to hone your psychic abilities and you want to practice on people and you want to do it live and with video, then definitely look at my website, kind of check out for my updates. Basically, I'll be doing normal live readings every Thursday, but then the last Thursday of the month, I want to do these group Zoom calls where we can all jump on and practice together. So I would recommend that you jump in on this now if you want to practice. It is going to be about $5 per person every night, but that just kind of helps me to fund the cost of doing the Zoom call. And then later on down the line, once, the demand goes up for it, I will probably have to limit attendance, and I probably will limit that by only letting people in that have bought my courses. So just keeping it in mind, maybe purchase my course in the near future. But those will be available for you guys to attend and sign up for on my website. So you'll be able to see the event, and you should be able to pay your $5 to join us on the last Thursday of every month to do a Zoom call. And basically what I'll do is that maybe the first third of the night, I will sort of talk you guys through an exercise and probably teach you guys maybe something you haven't learned, maybe something that's not quite in my courses. And then we'll take the night to practice on each other, whether that's breaking into groups and you guys doing like 10 minutes with each other and then coming back or whatever that might be. And so it's basically a night dedicated to learning how to hone your psychic abilities. Now these nights, I think what I'm going to do we're going to have a combination of both readings and practice. Not necessarily for tonight. Tonight we'll just do all readings, but starting next Thursday, what my plan is to do a little bit of exercise practice together and then end the night with readings. So that's kind of my new exciting goal. I'm finally able to set a more consistent schedule with you guys. So every Thursdays, look out for me. Again, that last Thursday will be sort of a group Zoom private call. And if you want to be a part of that, all you have to do is sign up and register on my website. So that'll be up hopefully by the time that you're watching this replay. Awesome. What other announcements do I have for you guys? So that was kind of the monthly meetup. And then, sorry, I have to take my notes. I'm still like in work mode. Had a lot to do this week. So the second big announcement is that I am making my own set of tarot cards. I'm really excited about this. Honestly, I made them years ago, and it has taken me ages and ages and ages to get them done for lots of various reasons. There'll be a video out on it eventually. But I'm so close to having them done, and I'm hoping that if you guys want a reading, that you will help me by donating to my Oracle deck fundraiser, which I'm going to put in the comments. I know, Marissa. Thank you. So I've actually already have a handful of the cards designed, but I just have to pay for a designer to do the rest. And then once the designs are done, then I can get it actually printed and sent off to you guys. So If you, my goal is with these live readings that anyone that wants a reading, I just ask that you donate maybe $5, a couple bucks to my tarot card fundraiser. And what's great about that is you'll get a quick reading from me, but then you will also get an equal matched percentage off of the tarot deck when it comes out. So if you donate $5, you're going to get 5% off. You donate $50, you're going to get 50% off, stuff like that. So that's the link. It's always up on my page. And once certain donation goals are met, then I'm going to reveal more about the cards. So once we hit $300, you're going to see the artwork for my cards. And then when we hit $600, you're going to see the theme of my cards, which I think is super unique. And then once $900 is met, I'm going to give 3 random people a free reading. And then, and that's 3 random people that have donated. And then when the full amount is met, then the highest donor of all of everyone gets a free 1-hour reading. So sorry to bore you with all my details, but my goal, I'm going to probably be talking about it every Thursday night. So if you want a reading, send me a little contribution. It's helping me fund these cards and get them ready and back in your guys' pockets. And I'm so excited to share them with you. But hopefully, since I will be on more often, you guys will see me. And again, if you're really interested in honing those psychic abilities and want to be part of the group where we get together privately and practice, like everyone's on the video call together, definitely check out my event page and on my website and sign up for that so that you guys can be a part of it. But yeah, I feel like I'm missing one other thing. What did I title this video? I can't even remember. I said more consistent schedule. I said tarot cards. And I said something else. It's going to come to me. Pan. Someone knocked on our door last night, but no one was there. Happened again at 7:45. Ooh, creepy. Well, and how I do my readings, Pan, to get to that, is we do a fun little guessing game. But first what I do is I do a reading for everybody. So if you're watching replay, there's a reading there that makes sense for you, even if you missed me. So I'm going to do that really quick. Oh, hi. Thanks for subscribing, you guys. So yeah, really quick, I'm going to do a reading for everyone. If you're watching this live, if you're watching replay, that how I start again is just doing a group reading. So even if you're watching replay, send the intention, ask your question. If you're watching live, same thing. Ask the question, ask the universe, whatever you want to know. And I'm setting the intention that no matter who it is, if you're watching in the future, if you're watching now, that the answer will be relevant to you and your question. Okay. This makes a lot of sense with what's going on right now. Okay, so everyone, oh shit, sorry. Just whacked this microphone. Can you guys hear me okay with this microphone? Also, I cannot wait to get into my shed, which sounds odd, but I've remodeled my shed and I now have like a little studio out there, but it's outside and it's not hooked up. It doesn't have power going to it, so it's really cold. But I have an electrician coming in the next 2 weeks and he's going to wire it all up. So I will finally have my computer in there. I'll have my camera in there. And I won't be in my husband's like game room. I feel like this is just not the nicest background and also not the nicest camera. So hopefully you'll see some changes in my videos in the coming weeks. Okay, so reading for everybody. The first card that I pulled is Magical Map Shifter, and I pulled it in reverse. By the way, these are the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, and if you want to purchase them, go to my website. I have a link on there of what I'm using. So the the Magical Map Shifter. This card, I pull it all the time, which is annoying because I hate the artwork of this stupid card. This guy, I don't know who this guy is, but Basically what this card is saying is that this is you, and you can manifest anything that you desire. These are your ideas, these are your thoughts and dreams and your wants, and they're in your head, but you can manifest them into reality. So you have the ability to turn them from a thought into an actual thing. But because I pulled it in reversed, what our guides are saying is you're not aware that you can do this. You're not doing this right now. So to answer your guys' questions that you might have, it's that you have to understand that, one, you have to have a clear idea. You have to know what you want. And then you have to understand that you can manifest it and you can make it happen. And I'm hearing that a lot of us don't understand how to manifest. So for example, Miss Joshika, she asked what's coming her way in terms of marriage. And so just kind of using her question as context, this, this card is about, you can manifest those things, but Miss Joshika, do you know what you want out of a marriage? Are you very clear about what you need? Are you actually making the steps towards manifesting it? And then Miss Joshika, are you manifesting it correctly? Are you meeting the universe halfway is what I like to say. The universe doesn't just, and our guides don't just like give us what we want when we just sit there and lay back and don't do anything. You have to be serious about it. So for example, like if you're trying to buy a new house and you really want to help manifest it, don't just sit around and just be like, oh, I hope it comes. Ooh, I hope it comes. Be serious and do something out of your comfort zone and help meet the universe halfway by doing something like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go buy some, or I'm going to hang on to some boxes that I get, and I'm going to start making a box pile because I am moving. I am putting my boxes over here. I'm setting the intention to the universe. I am manifesting a new house. I'm manifesting that new relationship by doing XYZ. Maybe it's that I'm going out more. Maybe I'm putting a online profile up, something like that. And so right now, everyone needs to sort of understand that you can manifest it, but for some reason, either you just don't understand how to manifest it, or maybe your ideas aren't clear. But as soon as you can sort of clear that up, have a great idea of what it is exactly that you want. And then not only that, but understand how you manifest things. It's not going to just fall in your lap. You have to, again, meet the universe halfway. Then I think that this is going to start turning around and you can start getting whatever it is you want. Because I feel like the energy of what is coming my way for all of your questions is like, I want this. When am I going to have it? I'm feeling like this is very money heavy, especially with this card. This card is saying right now that we are all in a dry desert and we have to conserve. We have to use our resources. It's like when you're walking from one side of the desert to the other and you're looking for that oasis, and you have to ration what you have in the meantime. So the energy right now is rationing what you have, conserving, resting, being careful with your finances, or, even if it's like a career or a relationship, the energy there would just be, try not to push it. Just try to move forward as best you can. Baby steps is what I'm hearing. And so just knowing that this time is working against you a little bit for manifesting things. So as long as you're not just like going out and overspending or doing something drastic, but you're also understanding of how you can be manifesting better, I think you're going to get what you're hoping for. And then the last card I pulled is encouragement. And so I'm getting that this is from not just others, but from yourself. So what you're needing right now, what you all are needing is encouragement. And I sort of have felt that energy since the new year. And it's like, oh, the new year's here. And everyone was all like, everything's going to be better. And then a few weeks go by and we're realizing, oh, it's the same. Stop autofocusing, camera. And so this encouragement, it's okay to ask people for encouragement. This is something that we feel like we have to wait around and just hope that we get. But, you can say, hey, I'm having a hard time going through this with your significant other. Can you try to stay positive around it with me? And then encouragement for yourself, asking yourself, what can you do that makes you feel excited, that makes you feel like you want to get up in the morning, that makes you feel like you actually want to move forward on your goals and manifest them? Because that's the encouragement card for yourself. So what is that to you? And I'm trying to think, what is that for me? To me, like, and I know this is kind of silly, but I need to get enough sleep in order to conquer my day. But sometimes that's also a cup of coffee for me. Like sometimes when I have a cup of coffee in the beginning of my day and I really just sit with it and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do today. This is how I'm going to conquer my day. Sometimes that gives me the motivation that I need. So find that encouragement for yourself. So just to review, this is the general reading for everybody. It's about understanding that you're not quite manifesting things correctly. And so examine if the ideas are clear, and then also examine if you are correctly manifesting those ideas. Like, are you actually doing things to help the universe manifest what you want? And then also know that right now it's just a little bit of a dry time. Things are moving a little slower. You're having to conserve your energy, conserve your resources. So don't feel like you have to make changes overnight, because that might just not happen. And you just need to conserve that abundance right now. And so the last card again is finding encouragement, finding somebody to help you and stay positive. I'm just getting that maybe the environment you guys are in is just not super supportive. So either getting out of that environment more, or maybe asking the people in your environment to give you space, to get on the same page as you as far as being more positive, and just getting out of that rut. I feel, and this is just kind of what I'm picking up. It's like sometimes when you're living around other people, you can't control their energy. And so if they're stuck, that stuck energy is sort of around the house. And it's really hard to get out of it, especially with the virus. Like, this has been the struggle last year, was just that, if one of us gets depressed or down, it's not like you can go out and hang out with friends or like go travel or really just get out at all. You're kind of stuck with each other. So even if you don't feel like you can have that conversation directly with the person that you're with, like maybe it's a roommate or something, try to just break up the energy in your home or your workplace. And that could be as simple as just like cleaning up, reorganizing, doing something different. Like even over this weekend, like instead of being inside and watching TV like you always do, maybe open up the windows, get some fresh air, and do some sort of outdoor project that you've been meaning to get to. Something like that. That's just kind of the energy that I'm feeling. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope that resonated with all of you that are watching live or replay. That's kind of the message for everyone. And now we'll move on to the individual readings. Again, next week, what I will be doing is we'll be doing some exercises. Heck, maybe I'll come up with one and do one tonight, but I want to start out my nights by doing exercises and practice, and then end the nights with those readings. And then the last Thursday of every month will be those really fun group Zoom calls. So I want to have you guys have the ability to actually practice in person. And by in person, I mean turn on your video and turn on your audio and talk back and forth with like a group of us. And so we'll break out, we'll practice reading each other, practice doing group exercises to strengthen our psychic ability. So if you're interested in that, visit my website, go to my event page. It's not up there right this second, but I'm going to have it up there soon. And sign up for those. Just $5 a night. And it's a great way for us to build a community and have a monthly just get together where we all practice and try out something fun. I'm already guessing that this first one, we're going to have a homework of, okay, everybody dream a certain dream. We're all going to meet in our dreams. So I'm going to walk you guys through how we're going to do that. And those are super fun. Hello, Marco. Welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you for coming back. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color, then you get the reading. And that's kind of how I do my readings, you guys, for all of those of you that are new. I sort of do a fun guessing game, and that way I'm setting the intention that whoever needs it most can get it, get the reading, but I'm also forcing you guys to practice your psychic abilities. Ooh, I'm thirsty. How was your guys' week? Also, where are you guys all from? You don't have to like give me your address, but curious where you all hail from. Nobody's guessed yet. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, you get the reading. I'm kind of thinking of a more specific color. Hong Kong! Marco, I've been wondering what it's like over there. I know you guys had such issues months and months ago. I hope that you guys are doing okay over there. South Carolina. Awesome. Not pink, not purple, not green, not blue, not yellow. Nobody's gotten it yet. I'm in Michigan. Turquoise. Heidi, you got it. Turquoise is the color. So Heidi, in the comments, let me know what your question is. Heidi, that was good connecting with your psychic ability because I was doing very specific color. I met Michigan. I've been to a lot of the states. I haven't been to Michigan yet. Still have issues. Ugh. I'm sorry, Marco. I send a lot of love to your people. I've watched a lot on the news over there, and it sucks. I'm from India. India. V Cookie. No chance that's a BTS reference, is it? I'm waiting for a BTS fan to come in. So I'm about to read Heidi, and once I'm done, we'll do this game over again, and we'll just keep doing that for the night. So while we're waiting for Heidi, side note, you guys, if you do want a reading and you don't want to wait, you can send me a donation. I put it up at the top of this chat box. It's actually going to my tarot card fundraiser, so I'm trying to get my tarot cards built. So any money you can throw at it, awesome. It helps me get my cards built, but I'll also give you a reading. I'm new, so woo, nice. I know travel's not a thing, but do you see a good trip when able? I'm immediately hearing October. Summer. Okay, so your guys are saying summer. If you do something like small and safe, like a local Airbnb, Heidi, like maybe you just go like an hour or two away and you stay somewhere that's kind of like safe and fun and cheaper. So maybe look into that. I think sometimes we feel like when we go on vacation, we have to go like crazy far away and spend exorbitant amounts of money. But I feel like Heidi, during summer, you might just need a reset, and your guides are like, you're going to know when you feel like you need a reset to take this, because you're going to be like, it seems so silly. I don't know if I'm going to have any fun. It's just going to be going to another house. But I think the energy is going to be something that you need. Yay, Marco. Thank you. I'm going to come back to that idea in a second, Marco. But October, Heidi, is when I'm feeling like you're actually going to like go somewhere. And I'm feeling like snow. Like, this is the energy I'm getting, not necessarily the place you have to go, but it's almost like upstate New York during the winter where it's like cold and you're in a cabin and you're all cozy. Maybe even just somewhere overseas that's like cozy and warm, and like that's like just the feeling I'm getting is like it's wherever it is, it's cold outside, but you've got like a latte in hand. And maybe your guys are just wanting to convey that energy. You could easily be in a tropical climate and still have that warm, cozy feeling. So I'm going to ask Heidi what you can do to better manifest that trip, and this card fell out. So this is the Bone Collector, which I know is kind of silly, but Heidi, what I think of this card, it's like it's gathering your experiences, gathering your knowledge and your resources. And so in relation to your trip, what I'm getting is like gathering your knowledge of how to travel, and it's like finding the right flight times, finding the right way to get the best deal, finding the perfect time of the year to travel. It's almost like I feel like you have a knowledge around traveling, that it's like maybe you know how to find discounts on places or stays or something like that. And I feel like, Heidi, how you can manifest it and make it happen is just by being resourceful and using the past experiences of how you traveled to and maybe not even that, just your experiences with like money, or maybe it's the people, maybe you can find a resource of like, oh, a friend of a friend has this home and they're not going to be there anyway, or something like that. So it's about just being resourceful. And if you want to help manifest this, what I'm getting is like, do your research, like look at the cheapest ways to get onto a flight, look at the cheapest times to buy a flight or something like that. And I think you'll be actually super set to actually go somewhere and save a ton of money. I'm hearing because of like COVID stuff still. But I feel like if you're like buying now or buying in the summer, stuff might still be inexpensive enough to make it happen. And you might have this awesome trip that you almost had to pay nothing for. So, yeah, October is feeling like bigger, but your guys are like summer, try to get out. Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. I'll do another guessing game in a second. So Marco says he's purchased my course on Udemy. You'll have to tell me how it goes. And let me know if I feel like I really should have those subtitled. You're welcome. But part of the Thursday night group Zoom calls where we all get on and practice reading each other. Eventually I'm going to kind of close off those meetings to people who have bought my courses only. But for now, when we get started, it'll be kind of open to everybody. Just pay $5. But if you think you will end up liking it enough and wanting to join us every month to do some practicing, definitely look into purchasing my course. And basically my course, for all of those who are new, is I'm teaching you guys everything I know about how I do everything that I do, which is my psychic abilities. So the first part is all about setting your boundaries, turning off your ability, how to make sure you're talking to like the right people and the right entities. And then the second part of the course is your clairs. And it's like, well, how do you pick up information? How do you start hearing things? How do you start seeing things? How do you do a reading? And then the third part is like the more advanced techniques. And yeah, that's my course. I'm currently editing my animal communication course also, and I'm getting up these tarot cards. I have so many ideas, you guys. I just don't have the time, and I can't wait till my YouTube channel gets monetized so I can start doing this more full time. Anyway, let's do another reading. I keep putting my cards in here backwards. Okay. If you can think of the animal that I am thinking of, then you get the next reading. And if you don't want to wait, again, guys, send me a donation and I will make sure that you guys get a reading before the night is over. Must be a little bit of a lag, but guess the animal that I'm thinking of and you get the reading. Not a bear. And basically, every Thursday night, I'm going to be on live. I know tonight's Friday, but I finally got a new schedule with my husband worked out. And so Thursdays, we'll do a little bit of practice and then a little bit of readings and see if that works. Maybe we'll do all readings. I haven't decided yet. And then not a giraffe, not a dove. And then again, is the last Thursday. I won't be on live, but I'll be doing that private Zoom call with anyone that wants to really practice and hone their skills. Turtle, you got it. V Cookie. So V Cookie, you got it. It was a turtle. I'm looking at a turtle up above my screen here. So V Cookie, feel free to ask a question, and I will try to intuit the answer. Yay! Excuse me. Drink some water. I'm so thirsty. Maybe I'll try to think of an exercise we can all do. My husband doesn't have any markers. What exercise can I do? Oh, maybe I can do. Yes. Okay. I'm making this up as I go, but I'm going to give you guys a taste of what Thursday nights, or even what our group Zoom calls will be. Okay. So V Cookie wants to know, will you be able to study what I like this year, or medicine, which my parents want me to study? Well, and so sort of how I like to explain this is the will I or won't I questions are basically yes or no questions. And so I don't like to ask yes or no questions because there's only two answers, yes or no. And so what if the answer was no, but if you do X, Y, Z, then it could be a yes. Does that make sense? So don't worry, like not judging you or anything, but I'm going to just change your question. And the only reason why I teach you guys this is so that you can learn how to ask better questions. And so I'll say my personal feelings about this is whenever someone asks me, should I do this or should I do this? Your guides will support you no matter what you do. And what they do is they support whatever you lean towards. So if you're feeling like, oh, I really want to study what I want to study, then they'll support you and help you make that happen. But if you lean towards, oh, my parents want me to do this, so I'm going to study this, they're also going to make that happen. You have to be the one to make the decision and make the choice, and then they'll help you. But if you're on the fence, they're sort of going to help you both ways, but they're sort of looking for your cue of, well, what do you want to do? Because you guys have free will. You have the ultimate free will. So I want to ask, so I'll still ask which one feels better, V Cookie. I mean, obviously the answer, I think you've already answered it yourself of what you want to do. So I'm trying to think. Really what I'm doing is I'm feeling like your real question is, how can I study what I want to do this year and not do what my parents want to do? So that's what I'm going to ask. And then I'll sort of feel out kind of what the situation is. So So I don't feel like you have very much say in this, V Cookie. Like, I feel like you can't just be like, nope, I don't want to do this. I'm studying what I want. Is that right? Which kind of sucks, but it's also understandable. Like, maybe it's because your parents are paying for it, and you can't do a whole lot about it. So I'm feeling like that's what the normal advice would be, is just say, hey, family, that's not what I'm going to do, but I don't feel like that's your case. So I feel like your guides are like, it's smarter, it's advisable to study the medicine part of it. Which I'm like, what about his wants and his feelings? I'll just go with the cards. So the cards are saying, and this was for So this is for how can you do what you want to do, study what you want to do. And this is like Sacred Pool. And this card is all about getting in your own space where you block out everything and everyone. I like to think of this as sort of a meditative state, but really it's just getting in the space where you feel recharged, where you feel like you are putting yourself first. This is also like a self-care card. And so V Cookie, I feel like this is just like immediate advice. Get away from everybody, get away from everything, just focus on you. And maybe that's taking a bath, maybe it's, going to the spa. These might be very American ideas, but what is it? Where can you go and really just tune everything out? Maybe that's, going on a hike or going to a lake or even just curling up with a book. I think your guides really want you to get into a space of just you and yourself, and be with your thoughts, because then I think you're going to come to conclusions of how to deal with this, how to handle this better. And you're going to know how to get around it and say the right things. And really, like me, Lauryn wants to be like, screw them, do what you want. But I think your guides are really saying that, yeah, it's not what you want to do, but you're not stuck to it. And to take the opportunity that's given to you, but still try to put in your foot and your wants. I'm seeing this, but I'm having a hard time translating. It's like you're saying, okay, I will study to do medicine, but I want to be a pharmacist, but I want to be a pediatrician. Figure out, if you have to do this, what is it that you are okay with doing? And so I do feel like, there might be something that comes out of this that you're surprised that you actually enjoy. Maybe it's the work itself. Maybe it's the pay. I'm getting that this isn't exactly what you want to do, but it's going to buy you freedoms later down the line. And what I'm getting with that first card of what you do want to study is figure out ways to still take courses in it. Maybe prolong, your studying, and every semester add in a class on that thing. And I'm getting with this Sacred Pool, even though you're studying this medicine stuff, always come back to this spot of, what do I want? What do I need? And I'm getting like, always carve out a section of your day, a section of your week, to make sure that you are still putting the passion into whatever this is that you actually want to study or get into. Because I feel like what I'm trying to get at, V Cookie, is you can have both. You just might have to put one on the back burner for a little bit, but I think it's going to be beneficial to move forward with the medicine stuff. It's not what you want to do, but that doesn't mean you can't be happy. You can have your passions on the side, and it might buy you, the medicine stuff might buy you the freedom to enjoy those passions later in life. But I just feel like the alternative, I'm asking your guides, well, what if you just said, no, never mind, I want to do what I want to do? You wouldn't get any support, and it would be much harder. I hope that makes sense. That's not the answer I would have personally given you, which is, me saying, there's the intuitive information that I get, and then there's my personal bias. And I always try to read with my bias set aside, but I always like to be like, this is not me, because this is the information that I'm getting. I hope that makes sense. Hello, Alyssa. So what I do, you guys, is I do reading guessing games. You want to be a visual director in fashion? See, V Cookie, I know you're going to be happier there, which is why this sucks. Don't give it up. That's like all I have to say. And if none of this resonates with you, which I can be wrong, do not take my word as, a command or what you absolutely have to do. But I think, a visual director in fashion, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like you don't need a degree in it. If you're always over here on the weekends practicing with the fashion stuff, you might be able to build up the experience to be credible and taken seriously. And yeah, you'll have your personal job to fall back on, which honestly is kind of like the best of both worlds. You have the money to support you, but then you also have a passion. And honestly, I always tell people to have two different things, to not necessarily work in something you're passionate about and rely on it for the money, because when you rely on it for the money, you get so stressed out and it becomes less fun. But when you have another job to really support your passions, then it makes you doing those passions a lot easier. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. Cool. So let's do another reading, you guys. I need to think of something. I am thinking of a country. If you can think of the country that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. You're welcome, V Cookie. I hope that helps. So welcome. If you guys are new here, we sort of do guessing games. And if somebody guesses the same thing twice, then they'll pass it. I'll ask you to pass it to somebody else so that somebody doesn't get like two readings. But if you can guess the country that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. And I think I have time for like one or two more. But I will be on every Thursday night starting next week to do live readings, with the exception of the last Thursday night of the month. And that night is going to be reserved for my group Zoom calls. And so those are going to be nights where you all can join me for $5 and we practice reading each other. And it's not me reading everybody. It's you guys all practicing your psychic abilities and trying to read each other or yourselves. Awesome. I think go for it, V Cookie. I think and you want a clear like one or the other, but I think you're going to have to do a little bit of both, which sucks. But I totally get that. That's what I'm having to do with this work. I have my real, I shouldn't even call it real because they're both real, but I have my main job that makes me the most money and that's how I pay my bills. But my goal is that can one day support this psychic work that I do, or, this psychic work can take over and make me more money than, my current job, so I can leave that job. And I think that's always helpful. You have to make sure you can eat and sleep and, be safe and warm first. And then you can focus on all the other fun stuff. Is there anyone out there? Nobody's guessed. If you can guess the country that I'm thinking of, you get the reading. Nobody's guessing. So yeah, every Thursday night, guys, I will be on. If you want to know when I'm going to be on exactly, go ahead and visit my Facebook page or my website, and you can go to the events and see exactly what time. Marco, you got it. Bam. It was Japan. I talk about Japan a lot, so maybe that helped. So Marco, let me know in the comments what your question is, and I will get you an answer. Hopefully. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, if you guys really want a reading and you don't want to wait for these little games, send me a donation. It helps me build my tarot deck. I'm so close to having it done. I will try guessing too. You're too slow. It's already guessed. But you could do it again. Like I said, I think I'll have time for like one or two more. So Marco got the reading. Actually, and Marco, I'm going to make you wait. So I'm going to do a fun little exercise with you guys so you get a little taste of what I'm going to do. Okay, just kidding. I'll do it after this since Marco was so fast. But can you read the current energy between me and Stephanie? This card just fell. So that is definitely that one too. Okay. I'm pulling from a different deck. And I'm trying to rely less on my tarot decks. So I'm just kind of reading the energy of these cards instead of looking at the booklets. I'm getting two very opposing cards. Okay, so this card, Marco, is the Sun, and the Sun card is always like good stuff. It's like celebration. It's like you've reached your end goal. It's like they're on a long journey and they finally see the castle on the other side of the hill and they're like, yay, we're there. So Marco, I feel like the energy is like you've worked really hard to manifest this and make it happen, and good things are coming your way between you and Stephanie. Why do I feel like that's wrong, though? Are you with her? Because, I mean, this is like a good card. But on the other hand, this card is 5 of Cups. And, like, cups are emotions. And you can see this lady is like, will it focus if I get that close? Let's cover my face. Ooh. This lady is, like, decrepit. She's, like, falling apart. Focus. Okay. And I feel like this is your energy, Marco. I'm not with her. See, I was like, I feel like that's wrong. This is your energy. It's like you've spent so much of your thoughts and your emotions and your time and your energy on her that there's like nothing left of you. It's like you're wasting away in the wind like this own woman. And so I think the guidance there, Marco, is to like stop and replenish you and your resources and don't spend so much time and energy and effort on her, because it's not good for you. And it's also not, I don't want to say attractive to her in the sense of like, you know, physical attraction, but it's like you're not being the best version of you because you're not putting you first. So I feel like this is kind of the card to take away, is like you're spending too much on this. But I mean, I'm asking why this card is pulling up, and I'm getting that you're over the hump. Like I'm really feeling like this hill. It's like things can't get worse from here. You cut contact. Interesting. Oh, well, that makes sense. Well, and I think that this is you overcoming that obstacle of, you know what, I'm not spending my time and my energy on this relationship anymore. It's not working for me. And although it seems dark and scary and hopeless, you're in the right direction. You're sending the universe a very clear intention of, you know what, this is what I deserve and this is what I want. And, you know, I don't deserve to be treated this way anymore. And, you know, not saying that she was a bad person, but you're just setting a new standard of what you want out of a relationship. So really, Marco, I think this is what it is. I think that I was reading them the wrong way, but or the wrong order, I should say. I think that this process has made you depleted and feel awful, and really just you gave away too much of yourself. And so it's been dark, it's been scary, but because you set those very clear intentions, you are now going to reap the benefits of having those clear intentions and that clear motivation of, no, I deserve this. Oh, there's like a hawk in this. I've never seen that. Maybe you have a hawk spirit animal. Yeah. And I think the future of this card, and kind of where you're at with her, is right now you just need to take care of yourself, but also have hope and realize that things are only going to get better. You know, there's going to be a better relationship that comes along. You're going to have all this knowledge of what didn't work with Stephanie, and you're going to be like, yes, I know more. I can see those red flags better. I can say this is what I want out of a relationship. And because you're not victimizing yourself and still accepting of that relationship, you're going to attract something so much better. I feel like your guides are behind me and they're like, yay. You think it's in reverse? Well, that might be the case. I might be connecting wrong. Whatever you guys feel like is the case, go with it. You know, I could be connecting wrong. it's definitely, it happens. And if you ever come across a psychic that says, I'm right, no matter what, 100% of the time, which sadly I have, then don't listen to that psychic. So if you think it's in reverse, go with your gut. And you're probably right, Marco. I hope that helps. So really quick, I'm going to do an exercise with you guys. So those of you watching, normally, or what I'm going to start doing as of next week is we're going to do a little bit of exercises and a little bit of readings. And so I'm giving you a taste of what that's going to look like, because I am an intuitive coach and I'm all about teaching you guys how to do what I do and how to trust your own psychic abilities. I do not think you need to go to a psychic. I think you guys can get the answers to your questions anytime. But sometimes you just need to have the knowledge of how to develop your psychic abilities. You're welcome, Marco. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Oh, I just about showed you the, gosh, I'm going to ruin my own exercise. Okay. So this exercise, I want you guys to close your eyes, and I have a little piece of paper right here, and it has a picture printed onto it. And so I want you guys to use your psychic abilities and ask your guides, ask somebody of your highest and best good, what is on Lauryn's little piece of paper? What is the image? And then I want you to pay attention to how you receive it. You might receive it really fast. You might receive it kind of slow, but sometimes you'll see something in your mind's eye. Sometimes you might hear a word, or you might have a thought, and that's clairaudience, whereas seeing is clairvoyance. What else? You might just know right away, and that's claircognizance. And then clairsentience is you might feel. So you might feel what the picture is. You might feel like you're in a place, or you might feel an object or a texture or something like that. So I just want you guys to ask, what is on Lauryn's little piece of paper? Try to use your psychic abilities. Concentrate on it. Ask the question. And then if you really want to go further, you can try to figure out which Claire you are receiving that information with. And each time you ask, wipe the slate clean. So don't analyze it. That's kind of one of the biggest mistakes of using your psychic ability, is you get the information intuitively, but then if you analyze it logically, it's not going to help. You got to clear the slate, go with it again, ask the same question. Maybe you get something completely opposite. And, even reading everyone else's comments might bias you or put you in a judgment. So it's interesting that everyone is getting animal. So this is an example of some of the exercises that we would do. This would be just something that you guys do where I'm leading the exercise, but we could advance even more once I get an idea of everyone's abilities, and then we will start reading each other. And those are kind of those Thursday night Zoom calls that we're going to do at the end of the month. So if you really want to practice and get online and actually get face to face with me and a group of people and practice, the last Thursday of every month, we're going to be doing that. Otherwise, every Thursday, I'm going to be on here doing live readings, but we'll do a little mixture of live readings and some of these exercises. Seeing an image of a vase now. Good job. A shoe. I see Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. All right, I'll give you like one more minute. And I'm actually going to turn this specific exercise that we're doing right now into a video. I have videos for days, guys. I just need more time. Interesting. Okay. Now, before I tell you what it is, just know that no matter what you get, and even if you got it wrong, even if you got something out of the million things, bajillion things that could be on this card, even if you got something close, You should celebrate that success. You should be excited. Your psychic ability is working. There just might be some sort of block there. Maybe it's that you asked the question wrong. Maybe it's that you just don't understand how to use your clairs yet. Maybe you didn't wipe that slate clean. Maybe you looked at someone else's comment and maybe that kind of got in your way. You know, maybe you guessed it before, but then second guessed yourself and didn't say it. But just know, out of all the things that could be on here, okay, so here's what it is. And I don't, it's really tiny. It's a picture of like a hot spring. So somebody guessed house. There is a house in the background. So awesome job, Mind Hunger. I don't know where everyone is getting the animal. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an animal in this picture and it's just so small that I can't see it. Seeing an image of a vase. So maybe you saw the image of one of these rocks or this house in your mind, and maybe the shape was right, but the object was not. A shoe. Okay, so Haya, there's little shoes in this corner. So amazing job. Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. I don't see Tigger, but that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. The biggest thing, you guys, is that if you are wrong, you can't beat yourself up. Because if you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I suck, my psychic ability sucks, then you're setting that intention to the universe and then you make it so. So that's why you have to celebrate the little things. If you constantly dwell over what you got wrong, your ability, you're not trusting your ability. So Marissa, you did amazing. She got a pond or some body of water. So great job, Marissa. Why am I seeing a mask like UK, those African masks? Excuse me. I don't know. So like intuitively, what I'm getting, V Cookie, is that you might have tuned into something else in my home because I have a ton of those African masks. So maybe V Cookie didn't set the intention quite enough of what's on this specific picture. Maybe she was just like tuning into Lauryn's energy and just picking up something, you know, and maybe you picked up something in my house. Heidi, water, a lake, awesome job. Mind Hugger house. Oh my gosh, I saw a lake with trees. See? You guys can do it. Everyone is psychic. Got a shape of a flat shoe or a puddle. Yep, that's basically a puddle. It's a hot spring. This is a shoe. I pulled this off of my husband's vision board because this is just like one of the ways you can exercise your clairs. And so that's where I got this photo. But I would come a little bit more prepared next week. I saw an outline and I thought, oh, that's the outline of a house. Nice. There's got to be a cat in the woods. I mean, there is something. It's so pixelated and tiny and a poor print quality. There's something on there that I can't see. So I wouldn't doubt, you know, if there is technically an animal, because you are reading the energy of this card. That's a great question. How much of this is us picking it up and how much is you transmitting to us? So I'm doing both. So I was transmitting. I'm looking at the image and I'm trying to send it to you guys. So you could have been equally reading my mind as much as you were reading the picture. And so really the only way to know is if we did it differently and I purposely didn't send you the picture in my mind and you guys, or you guys purposely be like, I'm not going to read Lauryn's mind. I'm only going to read what's on this image. I think I need to go to your events. Yeah, and so we'll do kind of little teeny things like this every Thursday night. But if you want to go even deeper and get really kind of like one-on-one guidance from me and actually like we're going to be like face to face, like it's going to be a Zoom call. We can actually talk to each other. That'll be $5 again, the final Thursday of every night. You can sign up. You know, if you can't make it 1 month, not a big deal. It's kind of more like a monthly drop-in of just practice. And you'll be able to sign up for that on my events page. Yeah, that's what I do. I do intuitive coaching. And if you're just joining me, even though I'm doing live readings, a lot of the videos on my channel are teaching you guys these exercises and how to develop your abilities. I just like cats. Wishful thinking. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I have coached after I studied as a psychic and got all my certifications. I coached at the same place I learned for about a year. So I've got a good handle on how to teach people, and I've basically been teaching people ever since. So yeah, let's do another reading, you guys. I think I'm going to do one more reading, and then I really like doing that exercise with you guys. So I'll do one more exercise if you guys want to stick around. So yeah, if you can guess, I have to think of something that's too specific. Let's do countries again. If you can guess the country that I'm thinking of, I'm sending it to you, like Mindhunger said. I'm putting it out there. If you can guess what I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. And this is also my fun little way of letting you guys practice. I feel somebody trying really hard. Somebody's trying really hard to get this. This is my way of helping you guys practice your psychic ability. And also I'm setting the intention that whoever needs it the most is going to guess it. I believe in clairaudience. I would love to tap into it more. Heck yeah. Sally, I have a playlist and I've got literally a whole video on clairaudience. I have one video that kind of goes over all the clairs, but in my course that I teach, which is $35 online, I teach you everything. The whole part 2 is about all the clairs, all of clairaudience. But yeah, during these exercise weeks, that's probably the best way to practice with me. Also, if you have, I've done a video on the 90-day psychic cards. It's like hone your skill 90-day psychic cards. They were literally made by my mentor. Those cards are great, and I'm pretty sure she has a Claire's Day in those. Nobody's gotten the country yet. If you can guess the country that I'm thinking of, you get the next reading. But I'm full of resources, guys. And I'm mostly clairaudient and clairvoyant. Yeah, so Mindhunger says it's usually the very, very first immediate impression, and that's claircognizance. It's that first going with it. And sometimes that's harder for other people because they're like, well, it came so fast and so easy, so maybe that was just me, and maybe that's not real. And then you second guess it, and then you hear what the answer is, and you're like, gosh dang it. Nobody's got it yet. Yay, thank you, Sally. Thank you all for subscribing. I'm so excited to meet more of you in my Thursday night chats. I was consistent beforehand. Oh, Joyce! Welcome! Guys, Joyce, Shadow Bayou Tarot. I've done a video with her. I've been live on her channel a few times and helped read some of her people. You guys got to follow her channel. She does live tarot readings. She does them way more than I do. So if you want to get more tarot readings, go over to her site. I'm doing awesome. I'm jumping on after a very long time. And what I was just saying was that I used to be live more consistently, and I had a baby, and he's like almost 8 months old now, and I'm finally at a place where I feel comfortable coming back on a regular basis and being able to commit to it. Nobody's gotten it yet. If you can guess the country that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Yes, Joyce. Heck yeah. And you know what, Joyce? I just now remembered I was supposed to email you and ask you about a reading. And I totally forgot. It's been really crazy. It's almost like ever since the new year, everyone has had all this energy and they're like wanting to make things happen. And so like my schedule has just been crazy because everyone's like, yeah, screw 2020. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. And I've just been swamped. Could have sworn I've seen a flag of green and red and white. Oh, I don't. You'll have to tell me. I don't know the flag of the thing I'm thinking of. Heck yes, Joyce. Here, I'm going to write a note to email you. Sorry, I totally forgot. Oh my gosh. Mexico! Joyce got it! Joyce, you got it. It's Mexico. Joyce, ask me a question. I'll give you a reading. Too funny. And see, guys, that's an example. If you're constantly using your abilities, stuff like that, just like sometimes is easier. I'm not saying you'll get it right 100% of the time. That's not what I'm about. But I don't count though. You do count. Joyce, if you don't want to have it, you can also pick somebody in the messages and give it to them. Up to you. That's something that I do if people guess more than once and they get like 2 readings. I tell you what, it's up to you, Joyce. And after this, we will do. Okay, Jordan. Oh my gosh, yeah, I was gonna say. Jordan. So what did you guess before? I wonder if there's other countries with those colors. And that's, again, Jordan, like, same example of what I'm talking about. Like, if you pick it up in a different way, it's being able to interpret those symbols or those signs. Who said Scotland? Let's see. Sally said Scotland. Yeah. Really, Jordan? That's so crazy. So you might be clairvoyant, Jordan, since you're seeing in those colors. That's too cool. It's so crazy how our psychic ability works. It works different for everybody. What time are the events on the last Thursday of the month? Well, Heidi, I haven't said that yet. What time would work for you? Because normally, like, my goal would be 7 p.m. and that's Mountain Time. Because I'm in Colorado, but I don't know what works for everybody. And I assume what's going to happen is we're going to figure out a time that works for everybody. Sally can have my question. Thank you, Joyce. Sally, are you still with us? Joyce just gave you her reading because you said Scotland. Hopefully Sally's still here. Thank you, Joyce. Good to see you, Joyce. Yay! Now you definitely have to go subscribe to Joyce now. Gotta thank her. So Joyce does live readings, you guys, as well. She does tarot readings. I think she's a lot better at it than I am. I don't use the tarot as much as I just use my psychic ability. What was I saying? So yeah, sorry, Heidi. I think that would work. Okay. I mean, again, we might develop it as time goes on and we might figure out that nights don't work, but it seems like, people need to get home, eat dinner, put the kids to bed. So that's kind of why I'm thinking 7. But if I've got people on other sides of the world that we need to sort of coordinate with, maybe we'll have like 2 different times or something. I don't know. But we'll definitely make it happen. And if you want to know when that's going to happen, I'm going to have it up on my website in the next probably week or so. But every other Thursday will just be these normal YouTube live readings. I see Santa Muerte. So yeah, just waiting on Sally for a question, and then I'm wondering if I can pull some. I think I'm going to pull something else off of my husband's vision board, and we'll play one more game before we end the night. Ask Marco when I was on this morning. LOL. Were you up early? Joyce is in New Orleans, so she's 2 hours ahead of me. 1 hour? 1 hour. 4 a.m. That would be me too. I am such a night owl, but ever since I had a baby, can't do it. This has been the hardest thing about having a baby is like getting to bed on time, because he sleeps 10 straight hours, but I get to bed like hours after him, and then I get no sleep, and it's my own fault. It's ridiculous. 1 hour. Yeah. Let's see. Sally. If we don't hear from... I'll just preemptively pull a card for Sally. Whatever Sally's going to ask. I'm curious about my next job. are you weighing options, Sally, or are you just kind of like, I want to change and I'm wondering where to go next? No, Joyce, I'm not monetized yet. As soon as I'm monetized, I will be able to enable super chat, but I have the amount of subscribers that I can have, but I have to have a certain number of watch hours. I think I'm like 3/4 of the way to the watch hours I need. I need like 1,500 watch hours more. I went on an interview last week and I really want it. Awesome. But I do have, I should say, I've got Venmo and PayPal all hooked up because I'm trying to fundraise for my new tarot card. So if you guys do absolutely want a reading any of these nights, I know it's kind of a workaround until I get to super chat, but you can make a donation and definitely get a reading. So, Sally, somebody wrote on my card. Why did I do that? I'm forcing myself, Sally, to read them intuitively and not look at the booklet. That's why I'm taking so long. Okay. What I'm feeling, I think what these cards are saying are the fears of why you think you won't get this job. And you're worried that you're being too selfish about it. Excuse me, guys. Sally, I feel like you're worried you're being too selfish. Like you're like, oh, I want this amazing job, but I don't deserve it, or I'm not qualified, or somebody in my family doesn't have as much money as me, so I can't do that. There's a lot of self-limiting beliefs, Sally, and I think your guides are trying to bring it up because it's not helping you manifest it, which makes sense. Excuse me, for the group reading that I was doing earlier. So if you watch the beginning of my video, I kind of did a reading for everybody. And the energy was very much like, you guys can have what you want, but you're not understanding of how to manifest. And so right now you're sending out intentions that you don't deserve it. You're not qualified. You're not able to, the family thing. Yes. And sometimes, if we feel like, we can't make as much money as somebody else in our family, or, maybe they'll judge us for getting this job, or maybe it's a job they really want. We send these out to the universe and we're really saying, oh, I don't want this job, more than we're saying, no, I deserve this job. So this first card is sort of like, stop and tell yourself that you do deserve it and that you can have it, because we have to think about your intentions and your mental mindset and what you're putting out to the universe, because that's really going to help manifest it. For example, Sally, like right now, I'm trying really hard to get a new house, and it's really up in the air if it's going to happen, to be honest, but I'm doing everything I can to tell the universe that I want this new house. And so I'm saving packing boxes. I am literally cleaning up our house as if I'm preparing it for new renters. So we're going through our list of everything we need to like repair and clean up. I'm trying to think. I wanted to just give one other example. I'm doing something else, but I'm doing a lot of little things. Like I'm telling people when I move, not if I move. And so I'm just giving you that example. So, even if it doesn't happen, at least you're trying to put all of your energy and effort behind it. So maybe it's that you go out and you set the intention, I'm going to get this job and I know I'm going to need a new suit. So I'm going to go out and buy this new suit right now because I know I'm going to get it. So I deserve this job. And then this card is fairy godmother. And I feel like this card is literally just like, this is your fairy godmother bringing you this opportunity. It is yours to take. seeing this third card, any reason to shop. Yes, Sally. Yes. And this card is throwing me off because I feel like this is you, but I feel like this is like a mental thing, not an actual thing. Because this card looks sort of scary, but I think from my memory, it's like it looks scary, it looks bad, but this serpent thing was actually like a super helpful being or something. I'm just going to pull back and read the actual energy. I feel like this is like mirroring that I don't deserve it. I'm just getting the energy of a man. I need to stop looking at it. Hang on. Like the two messages that are coming through, the first one is the first one is that even if this doesn't work out, you now have a precedent. You have this is what I want. And even if it doesn't work out, don't move forward with, well, I can never have that. I couldn't have it this time, so never going to have it again. Keep that bar here. Keep that ceiling here, Sally. Subconscious thing. Yeah. And I think this is just also saying it's like, you're afraid, you feel like something bad is going to happen because it's too good to be true. But really, it's the serpent is in disguise. I'm pretty sure this is like her lover or something in this story, and it's not a bad thing. So I think it's like appearances, you feel like it might not work, but in reality, it's actually a super beneficial thing. I would just examine like money blocks. I think it's more just about the intention that you're putting out. How can you manifest it correctly? Sally, I did a video review on a book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And I feel like you should read that sometime if you're interested, if it resonates. I'm not going to force you to read it. But that book is all about how to manifest. And even though it's mostly about money, it has great tips of how to manifest anything in your life. So even if like this card, I just feel like is like reserved for, if this doesn't work out, it is not your fault. There's a man behind it, somebody who maybe it turns the tables and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's the energy that I'm getting, is maybe this guy decides to go with somebody else because of some reason. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't still have this intention and have this bar set for this is what I want. I think, yeah, I don't know why I'm getting that from this picture, but that's what I'm getting. Get Rich Lucky Bitch. I love it. I love that book so much. I love Denise Duffield Thomas. I'm always like, buy her stuff. She's amazing. Really, Sally. So you are already really good at manifesting. So maybe pick up that book. It's all about money. Ooh, Heidi. Yes. That would be nice. Miss Joyce's. Yes. I'm totally down to get with you guys to do both the seance, all of it, Joyce. I'm gonna be really busy in February because I have a lot going on, but March I am like super freed up as soon as like February is over. Thanks for joining, Heidi. You sent me a donation. Weirdness. Sorry, I have like all sorts of messages. Awesome. Joyce, do you want a reading? Let me know. PayPal. Thank you. Thank you, Joyce. You're awesome. Thank you. I'm putting it towards my my Oracle deck fund. I'm trying to get artwork funded. Yes. Anything, Joyce? Or do you have a specific question in mind? And then if anybody's still with me, we can still do an exercise after I read Joyce. But that's the great thing about sending a donation, is you get to stop what I'm doing and get a reading. Gotta go now. Need to study. Really love your energy and thanks for the reading. Yay! Thank you, V Cookie. Thanks for joining. I hope to see you guys next Thursday. Next Thursdays are when I will be on more. Okay. What does Joyce need to know right now? That card. I had a lot of people really like our video that we did, Joyce, which is leading me to make more videos with other people and just like having those conversations. So thank you for doing that. People liked it more. I did like a poll and people liked it more than I thought they would. Like a lot of my followers like exercises and practice, but they also like to hear from other psychics besides myself. Who'd have thought? Okay. I'm picking up really good energy, Joyce. Like, I'm feeling like recently you might have been stuck and things were like slow. Oh, you have a question. I'm going to give you this anyway. So recently I feel like everything's been really stuck, really slow. So I have this card. They were both in reverse, which is slow and steady and stuck in the mud. But I feel like you've passed this. I feel like you're just like in the zone. Like I'm tuning into your energy and it's like you're like bam, bam, bam. I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to accomplish that. I'm going to accomplish this. I feel like now it's just like a really good time for you to just be checking things off your list. Like I feel like you're creative. You're just like, I'm going to make things happen and I'm going to make them right now. And it's like you are manifesting things out of thin air right now, which is great creative energy to be in. And I pulled the talisman card and I feel like this card is great for you. Keep things around you, Joyce, that will help you, that will remind you of this energy, or interpret this how you will, because I feel like you might already have objects associated with this and maybe you've already been manifesting this energy. This, like, I'm just getting like really forward, fast moving, fast paced movement. And so the talisman is helping you. This object, this reminder. A lot of times I tell people it's a visual reminder, or maybe it's like an alarm that you set on your phone, or it could be a crystal or a necklace. This is helping you. And I think you know what I mean when I say that, because I feel like it's very specific to the work that you do. So maybe I'm hearing thank your guides for that. Motivated and creating like a beast. Yes. And I wonder, Joyce, I'm just getting this also, like, if you're thinking about like, I'm really picking up like money stuff. If you're thinking of like grouping things together and selling it as a package, I feel like that's going to be crazy profitable for you. I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's that you're giving people a reading and then you're giving them a pre-recorded video. And I mean, this might be my bias, but, and then maybe you're sending them a candle in the mail and it's like just this package that is really easy for you to make, but you can mail them out or something like that, or send it digitally. Whatever it is, I feel like you might come across an idea, and I just keep hearing package, like package your gifts and talents together, but do it in a way that's easy, and you might make some really good money. It's like what I'm getting. Spell bundles, nice. Okay, so let me go back to your question. I want to know Roy's feelings and intentions with me. Okay. Even though I've read Joyce before, I'm going to wipe the slate clean, and this is kind of a technique that I use because I want to make sure that none of that stuff gets in my way. Because sometimes if you read past stuff and you let that get in your way, it might hinder some of the new stuff coming in. I feel like he's just like a really awesome friend. I don't know if I'm right. I just want to tune into his energy first. I feel like he's a really amazing friend. Like you could call on him at any time. He is there. So reliable. I mean, I honestly, just bought the book. Thank you. Yay, Sally. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Keep whacking my mic. It's probably killing your guys' ears. Ooh, I love these cards. Okay, so this Gentle Gardener card is sort of the thing that I'm getting with Roy Joyce. It's like slow moving, slow pace, or not even slow. It's like this card is about planting the seeds and being a gentle gardener, letting it come up, letting your harvest come up in its own time, nurturing it slowly, giving it the little things that it needs. It's not overabundance of, watering it, or even the opposite of not giving it enough. So I feel like if you're wanting this relationship to go further, just keep giving it the little things that it needs. Nothing aggressive needs to be put on it. As long as your intentions are sowed, those seeds are sowed. I keep like planting seeds. And and I see these seeds as like your relationship. As long as those little things keep getting met and given a little bit of your time and your energy in a non-aggressive way or a not aggressive enough way, it's like that perfect amount. I think it's going to manifest into something beautiful, because like right now I'm feeling like such a strong friendship and reliance, and it just feels like it needs to be cultivated more. It's going to get there, but he can't see it that way yet. And so doing these gentle gardening things, doing these little things to show him, hey, I'm here. I'm not pushy, but I'm also going to give you the things that you need. But I'm not desperate. I don't need you. And I'm not saying that you're like that at all, Joyce, but it's like, that's what a lot of people do when they want to manifest a relationship. They're just like calling them every 10 seconds. That's how I was before I met my husband. I don't even know how I got boyfriends before that, but yeah, just this gentle energy, and knowing that, when you're gardening, when you're growing things, it takes time. I won't live long enough to wait. Sorry guys. My alarm's going off. And this card also is rock bottom. And everyone always gets freaked out by this card, but I love this card because it means, I interpret it as there's nowhere to go but up. So with your relationship with Roy, it's like you really can't go backwards. Nothing can get worse. You can only move forward. You can only get better. Too much has happened for just that. He better deliver. Well, and I think with the Gentle Gardener card, you can set those intentions of, this is what I deserve and this is what I need. And you can be firm. Like I think sometimes this energy comes across as sort of passive, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. But the rock bottom card, things can only get better. They're the worst they've ever been in the past. That's over with. And that's why I love this card, is that the worst is behind you. You are only cultivating those good things. Joyce, you crack me up. I'm going to use my shovel on him gently. Exactly. Well, and I think this last card is indicative of this whole journey. And this is the Mountain card. And kind of how I like to show this card is that really it's about moving mountains. And with this relationship, you've had to move mountains. You've had to, like, things have had to be picked up, and it's been stressful, and it's been huge, and it's obnoxious. It's awful. But in a way, it's a confirmation that we can overcome those obstacles, that we don't always have to move the mountain. We can learn to go over it, or go through it, or, well, I don't know, go around it. I shouldn't say through it. But I think the energy of this card is that, it looks like a big task. It looks huge and awful, but really, once you get started, you take one step at a time, and you're going to get to the top of that peak, and you're going to get over that mountain. Again, that energy is sort of mirrored in this rock bottom card. There's nowhere to go but forward. Nowhere to go but gently moving towards that better future. And so I'm just going to pull back from my cards and ask if there's anything else with that. Yeah. I asked, what's the story here? And I'm kind of like, what's the story of your relationship? And this is the card. This is like the Three Little Pigs, which is funny because I read this to my son every night. This is one of his favorite books. And I know the moral of this story is that the harder you work, the better the outcomes, because the first little pig and the second little pig built crappy houses, and then the wolf was able to blow them down and eat the pigs. But the third little pig made his house of bricks, and he put in the extra work. It was a lot harder. There was more of that mountain to build, but in the end, it was stronger, and that hard work was rewarded and paid off. So Joyce, I'm sure that's probably not what you want to hear. But I think it's good confirmation that it can't get worse, that you're only going to get better, very clear instructions on what you can do. And then the fact is that there's going to be rewards. Maybe it's not necessarily with him, maybe it is with him, but your intention setting, your clear manifesting is going to get you what you need, because you're being very clear about what you are okay with and what you're not. No stable foundation in the beginning. Awesome. Yeah. And that's why I love the Three Little Pigs card. That's such a good representation of, like, you got to start from scratch. You got to rebuild it. I feel like you're already on that path. Like, I don't feel like you're on step number 1. I feel like you're already significantly towards that. But yeah. I'm just spending a little bit of time more on Joyce, everyone, just because she gave me a donation. Thank you, Joyce. Joyce, I don't know if you've taken a trip in a while. I'm even getting like Europe. I obviously, I know it might not be good to travel right now, but no, he's out of the country. Sorry, I meant for you. I think I'm just feeling like a trip. Like, I feel like you deserve a trip. I think you should really try to put it in your books to make it happen. Like, I don't know why you're telling yourself that you can't, but you should. Like, I feel like you could still do these readings remotely if you needed to. There's something about you traveling that's just going to re-energize your something with your relationships. We all deserve a trip. I know, Sally, right? Gah. I have been years ago. Like, Joyce, when I see you, like, I see you in like Ireland or Scotland or somewhere very like European countryside, like doing some sort of retreat and like really connecting like with your abilities. And maybe you're with like a friend or something, but it's just like totally indulgent. And maybe you don't need to do this. Maybe you don't need to take a trip to have this energy, but it's like the energy that I'm feeling is like, I am capable and I have enough to be able to do something like this. And there's something about that energy that is in relation to your relationship with Roy that's going to open something up and just like make it flow better. Maybe there's a lot of obstacles there that you just don't see, don't know. And sometimes we have to get out of our day-to-day to just kind of break up that energy. And again, you don't need to go across the world to do that. Like, even if you take a day trip to a lake nearby or something, or even a staycation where you just go somewhere for the weekend. I just feel like something like that would be super beneficial. you were in Scotland. I feel like, I mean, I can't stop thinking about Scotland. And it's crazy because I'm watching a show about Scotland right now and I can't stop thinking about it. So maybe, I don't know if it's possible for you to go back to Scotland because I know that he's there, but maybe going there with the intention of not necessarily meeting him. Maybe there's something there that's empowering. I'm going for me, and maybe that'll release something. I don't know. Exactly, Sally. Too funny. Thank you, Joyce. I hope that helps. Huge shit. Well, and Joyce, like when I'm reading that energy, it's like you might not meet him, and there might be some part of you that's just like, I don't need to go there for him, but I also kind of do hope I bump into him. But then I feel like if you don't and you're there and you're just like, you know what? I don't need this. You know, I can meet somebody else just like this, or I don't know. The energy that I'm getting, I just see you walking around just like owning the space that you're in. That's all. I think that's what I should stick to. That's the message. It's like you can be there and not be hindered by his energy. That's what it is. You can be there and not be hindered by his energy and be your own person and do what you want. And there's something about that that's going to be so empowering to you that it might release some of that old stuff. And, you know, that might make it easier for you to be with him, or maybe you decide to move on with somebody else. And I would go knocking. Hell yes. Awesome. Thank you, Joyce. I hope I tried to give enough reading in relation to donation. I hope that helps. Awesome. So I know I said I would do one more exercise, you guys. So we just did this. So I am going to pull up this little card, and it's got something printed on it. And I want you guys to use your psychic abilities. You're welcome, Joyce. I'm going to email you. I have a note. So I want you guys to use your psychic abilities and guess what is printed on this card. It's an image of something, and you have to guess what it is. So use your psychic abilities, tune into the card, you know, tune into what is Lauryn sending, or tune into the card itself, what is on the card. Go with your gut. Go with the first thing that you get. Pay attention to if you see it, if you hear it. I'm trying to think of how to coach without giving away too much. I will tell you guys here, I'll tell you that it's an object. So if you're seeing something, you might see that object in your mind. You might see it in the room in front of you. You might see it like you do on a movie screen. You might hear it, which is clairaudience. So you might hear the word as if somebody's telling you what it is. Or it might be a thought, like you start thinking about something, an object. Let's see, in clairsentience is you might feel. So feeling that object, feeling the texture, feeling the temperature, whether it's rough or smooth, stuff like that. That's more clairsentience. Just keep holding this up so you guys can like stare at it and try to get it. What did I do? Clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance is like that fast knowing. You just go with what the first thing is. Sometimes that works well for some people. Sometimes that doesn't. And then the last two clairs, which are kind of a little bit more obscure, are clairalience and clairgustance, which is tasting and smelling. So maybe you can smell or taste this. And I won't give away any more. Give you guys a few more minutes. You don't necessarily have to throw it up in the chat, but if you want to tune in, this is a great way to practice. You need to be careful. This is a great way to practice your psychic abilities. And again, what I said earlier is it doesn't matter if you got even just it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, even if you just get a little part of it right out of the hundreds of millions of things that could be printed on this piece of paper. The fact that you got it, you know, should be amazing. And when we celebrate the successes of our psychic ability, we are telling our psychic ability we trust it, we believe in it. And when you believe in your psychic ability, it starts working for you even more. I love it. Joyce is trying, even though she's not going with one thing, she's just resetting. What's the word I'm saying? Cleaning the slate. And I always talk about cleaning the slate. So you ask the question, you get an answer. Don't judge it. Clean the slate. Wipe it clean. Ask again. But if you keep thinking of, oh, well, maybe it was this thing that I guessed earlier, and then you keep trying to fit your next answers into that, that's using your logical mind to read an intuitive situation. So, looks like I've only got Sally and Joyce. So I'll go ahead and give it to you guys. It's a computer. My husband trying to manifest another gaming computer. He's a big techie. So let's see. A towel. I don't know how you get a towel, but that's okay. It happens. A sheep. A dog. There is something printed on the screen, like over here, but I can't tell what it is. It looks like a person. So maybe that's what you guys are picking up on. Sally, a bell. I'm curious if you heard that, because if you did, maybe you interpreted it as a bell, but maybe it was like a ping or a noise that a computer makes. Could have been. I think, Joyce, your rectangle, definitely you got it there for sure. I mean, that's definitely a rectangle. Button. Sally, this does have a button. Oh, no. That's okay. And that's what I'd say. I still do these and I get them wrong. This is really a creative way to just hone those clairs and practice those clairs even more. Yes, I hear the sound. It has a lot of buttons. And Sally, that's a perfect example of you might get the intuitive information, but then you used your analytical mind and maybe said, oh, a bell, but maybe the bell you didn't actually get intuitively. And so one of the things I teach is going deeper. So instead of, just using your logical mind to continue the story of what it could be, you go back to the psychic source. You go back to this little card and ask it, no, what are you? I heard a bell, but a lot of things can make a bell noise. So what is it? Go deeper, go back. I have a question about remote viewing. Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, I mean, anything that you guys get is something. I'm trying to think if everyone's been getting animals tonight, which is very interesting. And I'm curious if any of these other photos have animals. And maybe people just weren't tuning into the right thing, but I don't know. That was a great job, guys. That's what I mean. And so every Thursday night, I'm going to do a mixture of doing these readings and doing a little bit of exercises. And then the last Thursday of every month, I'm going to be doing group Zoom calls. So we're actually going to get on. Everyone can actually get on with their video and audio, and we're going to practice together. And that's going to be a more in-depth version of what we basically just did. So I might teach you something really briefly, and then we'll take the night to practice it. And that was an idea that I had. I basically did that in person before the pandemic, and then I was like, I can do this online. Duh. Sally, I know that's like one of the hardest things. It's so easy to overthink it and jump from intuitive hit and then analyze. And it's a really common block to your, I don't want to say block to your psychic ability as much as it gets in the way of getting more accurate information. So you really have to train yourself to not analyze, and it takes some work. You're doing great, Sally. I mean, you got a lot. Out of all the things that could have been printed on that card, you have to give yourself credit. So I just want to make sure I answered Joyce's question. But yeah, guys, if you want to know when I will be live next, you can go on my Facebook page or my events page on my website. But it's going to be basically every Thursday at 7. If you want to sign up for those practice nights where we all actually get on and do kind of like classroom style stuff, then sign up for that also on my event page. It'll just be $5 a night. Eventually, it is going to be for my course members only, but until I get enough people in there that I actually have to start limiting it, I'm not going to start by limiting it. So what does it mean when you feel someone's energy? However, thank you, Ava. And sorry you didn't get a reading tonight, Ava, but maybe next time. And again, if you ever are on and you want one, you can donate, or you can get a reading through my website at any time. I have really cheap email only readings. So what does it mean? Okay, I'm going to answer that in two ways. So what does it mean when you feel someone's energy? Unfortunately, it can mean a lot of things, but usually it means there's a message there of some sort. So you could feel someone's energy. Well, I should say, example, a psychic was reading me a couple months ago. She felt my mom's energy around me. Now it could be, and the message was, she couldn't figure out why, but she just felt my mom's energy around me. And she's like, maybe you should reach out to your mom. So I called my mom and I said, hey, this psychic said this. Do you have any idea of what you think it could be? And she said, well, I've just been thinking about you a lot because you've had a baby and I'm worried about you. And I want to make sure you're eating and sleeping and yada, yada. So one of the things that it could be is that person is thinking about you. So that's kind of the first part of your question. So if you feel someone's energy, it can definitely mean they're thinking about you. Which is why a lot of people have issues with exes, is because their ex is like thinking about them a lot, or maybe somebody who is a friend that you just can't like shake their energy. Opposite is true. Maybe you're thinking about them a lot, and so you're constantly tuning into their energy. So I'm basically answering this three ways. So they're thinking about you, you're thinking about them, or it could be a message. So if you're thinking about them a lot and you're constantly doing that, then you are actually subconsciously tuning into their energy. You are reaching out to their energy and you're feeling for them. And when you do that, you constantly kind of are in their aura, which is kind of a little bit of an ethical boundary. And you start to pick up information from them. So it might be something that if you pull back, then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm not picking up as much. Third thing is it could be a message. So it could be your guides putting an image in front of you and being like, this person, this is a message. Maybe it's a general metaphor of like, oh, remember this relationship? Remember how crappy it was? Well, that pertains to the job that you're about to take. Maybe this person is similar to this relationship and we're giving you a red flag warning. Or it could be more literal of, hey, I'm your guide. Remember this person? Maybe you should reach out to them. So what sucks is it could be many things. There's no one specific thing. And that's why I want you guys to understand how to use your psychic abilities so that you can go into it and ask your guides, why am I seeing this? What is going on? And get deeper, more accurate information. So, and then you're saying a white horse keeps popping up in your psychic view and in your 3D. And so I would say, again, that could be a symbol or it could be literal. And those are always my two go-to things. And I always ask my guides, are you or I ask the message, I ask the psychic source, are you a guide? Are you real? Are you an entity? Or are you a message? Are you a symbol? Somebody literally just asked me this in a comment the other day. And so, now, and I'll actually I'll tune into this, Joyce, when I'm done making my point that I'm taking forever to make. So if you're seeing a white horse in your view, in your vision, I would also say that's clairvoyance. You're picking that up clairvoyantly. And it could be a message or it could be a guide. Maybe you have a white horse spirit guide. Or maybe the white horse symbolizes something. And then it's a matter of, okay, what does this mean? And for example, symbols. So dreams are the best way to interpret this. So when you have a dream and you say, oh my gosh, I saw a shark in my dream. What does it mean? A shark for you might mean something different than somebody else. And usually the quickest way to figure out what a symbol means to you is just look at the word and go with the first thing that comes to mind. So when I say shark, what do you think? Do you think something scary, or do you think, oh, something lovable? And a better example of this is a gun. If I say gun, where do you immediately go to? Do you go to fear, or do you go to protection? So again, that's what a symbol can mean. So maybe the white horse is a symbol. And when you think white horse, like my brain goes to like purity, like heavenly being. I don't know. And so maybe this is a really long-winded explanation. Sorry, Joyce. And it also depends on what's going on at the time. What I'm saying to you, I'm literally making into a video. That'll be much more concise, but also it depends on what's going on at the time. So if you're sitting somewhere and you're dealing with a really bad situation and you see the white horse, maybe it has something to do with the situation you're in or what you're thinking about. So it's really hard to tell unless I'm actually like looking into it. The fact that you're saying that now it's a brown horse, to me, I'm leaning more towards symbol because it's changing to try to get a message across. And when the information starts to change, it's your guides being like, oh, they don't understand it this way, change it up. And that's sort of why I'm leaning towards a symbol. Still attached to that person's energy. No, what is the meaning of the horse? Oh, sorry. What is the meaning of the horse? Well, and so animals or symbols can mean different things again to different people. So I would ask you, so how I would figure this out, Joyce, is because that symbol means something to you, because horse to me means strength, but that might not necessarily what it means to you. So when I say horse, what is the first thing that you think of? And like, let me know, like, what's the first thing you think of when you think of a horse? Because I think strength. We'll get to the attached to a person. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. And then I would ask, what's the difference between white and brown? And so the fact that it's going between both, graceful. And so sometimes with colors, I would say, like, my interpretation of white and brown is I would think of the energy being pure with white and then muddy with brown. And so maybe it's changing from being beautiful to not being beautiful, from beautiful to ugly. Yes, Sally, this is the same way that you would interpret your dreams. This is basically how to interpret symbols as a whole is sort of what I'm teaching. And when I eventually get into making my courses about dreaming, I'm going to go over this. So I hope I'm making sense. So yeah. So after you asked, or after you've decided what is beautiful and what is graceful, what do colors mean to you, Joyce? Do you think aura right away? Do you think, especially the fact that it's going from one to the other, to me, is your guides trying to show you a difference, a spectrum. It's going back and forth. So it's the change that's important. And so if I were reading it as my message, I would have read the horse's strength, and then I would have taken the color as being like, oh, pure, awesome strength to muddy strength. So maybe my strength is waning. Maybe I'm going from really strong to not having enough strength, if that makes sense. That's how I would interpret it, but I'm really not sure. Okay, well, I'll pull back and actually read into it, Joyce. But I'm sort of just trying to give you guys a lesson on how to interpret symbols, because it can mean different things for different people. If beautiful and graceful to you is what an animal means, we'll keep that as the core. So the message is about beauty and grace. And I'm just going to go with my gut feeling of the brown and the white and that change, and being like, my idea of those colors means it's going from being purely beautiful and purely graceful to ugly. And so your guides are trying to show you that this looks pretty, but it can also be ugly, and it's going back and forth. Now, the fact that you said it's attached to a person, that to me says something about that person, that maybe they're beautiful and they seem beautiful and graceful, but maybe they're not so much. Maybe they're ugly or gross. Yes, exactly what Sally says. The guides speak in your language. So maybe, Joyce, as you move forward, just get a better feel of how your guides use colors to talk to you. Exactly. So, okay, if that makes sense. And what I say too is, if you guys don't understand any of this, obviously feel free to reach out to me for a reading, but I also want to show you guys how to do it too. But that's what I would go with, is just like, if it's that beauty and that grace. So that's the core. I mean, you have to kind of break it down into bits. Let's start with the horse. Horse, I'm immediately like, oh, beauty, grace. Now the colors to me feels like their aura or their energy, and it's going from really awesome to really gross. So something that can go from really pretty to really gross is going back and forth. Okay, now there's a whole nother fact that this is surrounding a person. So what does that say in relation to that person? Now this is making sense. Yeah. And so, opposite could have been that I read a horse as, horse, somebody could think of really strong, well, no, I don't know. I think you get my point. But yeah, it's always good to start with the symbol, start with the message, even if you're not sure if it's a spirit guide, and just go with that first gut feeling. Just break it down into the word. Maybe you're seeing I'm trying to think of another example. Maybe you're seeing a dog. And think of the first word that comes to mind when you think dog. Now, that's going to be something different for me than it is for you. And then maybe that color around the dog is different. Or maybe there's the image of the dog. Maybe the dog is jumping and then he's laying down. And then he's jumping and then he's laying down. And so maybe dog means to you energy. And so when he's jumping and laying down, your guides are trying to say, oh, there's an imbalance here. I don't know. I think you guys get it. I'll stop yapping. Sorry, guys. I've almost been on 2 hours, so I'm about to hop off, but I hope that makes sense. I'm definitely going to be making a video on how to interpret symbols, because that's like one of the questions I get asked the most, is like, I saw this in my dream. What does it mean? And I'm always like, well, it depends. And it also is in relation to what's going on at the time. So you could be getting a message and, you might be in the middle of something, or you might be thinking about a stressful situation. And so maybe it has something to do with that specific moment. So the best way to figure out any of this is to stop in the moment, ask your guides, and really have that psychic ability honed so you can go deeper, figure it out, and understand your own symbols and how your guides talk to you. I love how you put that, Sally. I'm going to have to remember to communicate it in that way. Your guides speak your language, for sure. So it's a lot harder for me to interpret your symbols. But if I'm reading you and I'm getting the symbols from my guides, I understand what those symbols mean. So it's really easy for me to understand it. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff you'll learn. Hopefully in a much more concise way. But yeah, guys, Thursdays, I will be doing these readings, and we'll be doing little exercises, mostly readings. Last Thursday of the month will be those group Zoom calls where we actually practice with each other. If you want to get FaceTime with people and have conversations and ask questions, not be stuck like typing, I totally get the value of that. But yeah, feel free to book readings on my website. I also do events. Even if you're not in my area, I'm going to start doing more virtual events, because a lot of the things I do in person, I can do virtually, obviously. And I think that's it. Other than, yeah, I've got my tarot cards up. If you want to donate, that would help me get those artwork pieces ready. But I think that's it, right? Yep. Okay. You're welcome. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, Joyce. So good to see you. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to jump off because I need to go to bed, or else I'm going to wake up and hate myself because I didn't get enough sleep. Yes, I will, Joyce. Thank you, guys. I feel like I'm missing something. If you want to also get a jump start on learning some of this stuff, check out my courses. I have all sorts of courses on how to develop your psychic abilities. I'm currently editing my animal communication course. So if you want to learn how to speak to your animals, you can do that too. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Good night. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you next Thursday. Bye.